Step on it, fat man. Yeah, this is a card I couldn't resist. The other day I was at Rainbow Grocery here in San Francisco, and I was online. Everything's online these days, and I picked this up, and I don't know. My guides tell me to do things, I just do them. I just do it, because I know when I'm connected, and I then I was thinking up because it was $4.99 sale, $1.99, so $3 off. But I said, well, who am I going to send this to? I wouldn't call somebody fat, and besides, I don't know any fat men, and the ones I do, I don't even think they're fat. I just see them as souls that chose to have an abundant experience, and I can't picture them any other way. I don't see them as fat. I just see them as you know abundant people. Anyway, but anyway, I bought it, and then this morning, of course, Donald Trump. It says right there, step on it, fat man. Yeah, so I thought, yeah, I love this, because I'm a Casablanca freak. I love that movie. Okay, those of you who are watching me for the first time, I am Psychic Frank here in San Francisco. And for the last 11 years, I've been associated with Bayvac, who facilitates SF Commons, who I hope people will hear a lot more of because it's come to light now that Com- Comcast threw us under the bus. Um, I'll call you back, Bob. So I okay, so yeah, Comcast threw us under the bus, and this quit tagging our shows, SF Commons, but I'm not going to get into that now because it's a racist things, and now all these corporations that have done or have been and continue to do racist things will one be exposed because this closure now is underway. It's interesting, astrology. I'm a psychic healer who uses astrology and numerology to do my healing. I'm a shaman, I guess. I was watching the riot filming of the people that stormed the seditious people who stormed the the United States Capitol building. It's just appalling what happened, and shocked but not surprised. And this one guy decked out in animal furs. It's rather, it looks like a comic book hero or something. He's got good teeth. He's a young man, in his 30s, and he's almost the Aryan symbol of perfect manhood. But boy, is he bananas! And then he has a sign about, and they said he's part of one. Oh, and they named these horrible groups, and he's like the shaman. And then he has his own little sign that says Sharman, Sharman. And I was thinking, have I been spelling it wrong all these years? Shaman. There's no R in Charmin. Shaman. Charmin is a tissue paper. It's a butt wipe. So anyway, I'm not going to call him a knuckle dragger, but he's obviously sick. These people. There's Gabby. My parents coming in for a close up. I have a little place for her to light here, so she'll probably come by. Okay, so the planets don't make things happen, they simply reflect what's going on. Excuse me. So, just the other day, today is Friday the 8th. Um, so it was Wednesday the 6th, 2:26 p.m. After being in its home domicile of Aries for more than 6 months, since June 27th, it entered Aries, 6:45 p.m. If you want to look at that, and boy, that's so I can't explain how unusual that is and how irritating that was. I predicted back in June 27th, yeah, the first couple of weeks it's going to be like, okay, we're going to see a lot of, Aries' armies. We're going to see a lot of passion, a lot of Mars' your modus operandi, how you roll. Mars in the chart. See, so Mars in Aries is all about. Mars always wants to get things done yesterday at 2 o'clock, and then Mars went retrograde a few times since June, and that was even more impatient because everybody wanted things done, and Mars just couldn't do them. Of course, Mars wanted But anyway, what happened? And it was almost like clockwork. The planets don't make things happen. It's so important to remember they simply reflect what's going on. And what happened was just 2 days ago, because today's Friday, was when the storm it was just the afternoon when Mars was like 29:59. Gabby, come here. Come here, baby. Come here, sweetheart. Come here. Come on. Uh, that was Mars and Aries' last gasp. And then, as I said, Mars went into Taurus. So yesterday was the first full day of Mars in Taurus, and I just happened to have a 12th house Taurus moon, and it was like, I was astonished how noticeably calm I felt. Not that everything's coming up roses, but it really is. I mean, this guy's the gift that just keeps on giving to Donald there, Boy, he's man overboard. He's totally. Well, we're not going to get into that. So that's when. But now what's going to happen is we're not out of the woods yet, so to speak. I get all my validate my information about astrology from Pan Gregory. Then there's Kathy Rose. These are all astrologers I know from the Mountain Astrologer, which I'll be holding up right here in a second, talking about the Capricorn new moon coming up. But that's on the 12th of January. The Sun, Moon, and Pluto 23, 23, 24. Pluto 24. Look for 23, 24 Capricorn. Of course, that's where it's all. And this is our Pluto is 27 in the money house. There's going to be a whole series of disclosure now, damaging. I mean, Pluto disclosure or, it's through digging the underworld you find, the things worth anything, the oil, the diamonds. And because our Mercury is 24, the United States of America, our Mercury is 24 degree Cancer. Gabby, stop that. Get over here. Stop that. 24. That's second house, eighth house. Yeah, this is our, and 2022 is when our Pluto return is upon us. That's when the paradigm. And meanwhile, we just went through a real interesting hairpin turn through the cosmic birth canal, if you will, leaving 200 years of Capricorn into the age of. You know what? You're gonna stop this. Excuse me. Oh, here comes trouble. I said to her earlier, maybe I should put you in a little traveling cage, which I've never used. I've had her for 25 years since I've got her, and I never really used it. She's coming home. I used it once to take her to the vet for a blood test, and I found out she was a female. I thought she was a male, but that's another story. So she looked at me like, try it, Frank. I dare you. She gave me one of those looks. Because she really, yes, Gabby, I know, sweetheart. The other day, talking about, I'm real big about the power of mind over matter. I guess for the last year or so, since they've been advertising this stuff called Hempvana, it's a skin tag. I'm 72, and, you get skin tag stuff going on, they just happen. Know what they are. They just hang off your neck. They just are, stuff. My friend Aaron up in Oregon said it's the way our body expels toxins, so we should be grateful for them. But anyway, I always said, if I come into a few extra dollars, I'm going to send away for that thing. So after like a year of constantly saying, I finally found myself with a few extra dollars. So I called the place, gave them my, number, and a few days later they sent me a bottle of this skin tag remover, and, and and my skin tags vanished. I think they were afraid of it, and they just went away. one stubborn one, and I'm using it on that. But there were a lot more. I, you know, I'm thinking, was wow, no, I saw them. They were there. They were. Sometimes I even doubt my own experience, but I wouldn't. I don't throw money around. I'm very. Through fate, I have to be frugal to keep Gabby and I living in the style to which we've grown accustomed, and I wouldn't throw away like $60 on this medicine to get rid of skin tags unless it was like and then as I said, when I realized it was serious, I was really, hey man, he's really doing this, let's book. And they all took off. So yeah, the power of mind, I tell you, once you keep on affirming, this didn't just happen, as I said, without that feeling of love and conviction that life in you is unobstructed. I can't tell you how many times, countless times. That's my mantra. Life in me is unobstructed. I breathe that in and own it. Life in me. So your throat chakra rules all the chakras. Life in me is unobstructed. Miracles are not breakings of law, nor is it a phenomenon outside of laws. It is laws that are incomprehensible and unknown to us, and therefore miraculous. Gurdjieff said that. Life's a mystery to be lived, not a problem to be solved. See, she likes to be up there with God when I do my readings. Yeah, the higher, I guess, the closer she can be to God. But that's the portal where the spirits come through. So it should be a good session. We've got 52 minutes. I do a show 52 minutes twice a month. And I was doing this in the beautiful Flash studio at Bayvac, where facilitates SF Commons. I would have a live call-in show, and I love talking to the people who called and doing sadness, doing the card, just open the ephemeris and telling people where their planets were. So, okay, we're going to get to the numerology. We've got a lot planned for today, but I just wanted right off the bat share that. So, let's see what else we got here. The highest form of wisdom is kindness. That's the Talmud. That's a powerful. If your vision will become clear only when you can look into your own heart. It's hard to, a Navajo saying, it's hard to wake someone up who's pretending to be asleep. Well, yeah, this was no shock. So that's what I'm saying. What's going to happen now? Mars is out of its 6 months in Taurus, and now it's going to be joining the planet Uranus, the lightning throw to get you on the. I made some notes about Uranus. It says Uranus rules genius, the future. We're literally now, it's Jupiter, Saturn, and soon to follow Pluto, all going into Aquarius. All around our Pluto, our whole modus operandi is changing now. Nothing even remotely resembles what's through with it. So Uranus rules genius, the future, community, alliances, rebellion, science, technology, invention. See, we had to have people totally saying, fascists want you to believe all that stuff is a sham because fascist despots want. That's how they get into power. That's redundant now. Everybody sort of knows that. We've got an education now on. We sort of forgot since World War II how Hitler and all these despots get into office. They start tearing apart the media. That's the foundation of our whole democracy is, Jefferson. They all agreed on that. So Uranus rules genius, the future, community, alliances, rebellion, science, invention, awakening, the ultimate change. Uranus is relatively stiff, cold planet, and yet it is provocative. Think of an electric current, the force you receive when you touch an electric force or outlet. The nature of the force creates shock, a surprise, a potentially upset accident or area of life. See, not many people realize an area of life that has become stagnant or in need of a boost of electricity. Uranus is electrical. See, I was saying this on my earlier shows from 4 years ago. I studied the chart of Election Day 2016, and nobody was talking about it. I was searching the internet for astrologers, someone to validate, but now I don't need your stinking validation. I got my own validation. It was in the, I've said this before, the wee hours of the morning on Election Day 2016. Mars slipped into Aquarius, and that was the monkey wrench. That's what Donald, but there are no accidents. Things happen for a reason. A lot of people have a lot invested in, oh, that was an accident. No, no, no. In my world, in a shaman's world, there's no such thing as accidents, but, a lot of people have a lot invested in that, but excuse me. So what happened, as I said, since I've been saying for the last 4 years during this whole Donald Trump Trumpism thing, is keep an eye on Mars through this whole thing. Mars got us into this, and Mars will get us out. Mars represents, once again, how your modus operandi, how you chop wood, carry water, how you roll. So Mars in Aries was all that ginning up stuff, all really like adding gasoline to the fire, just really get the extreme going on there, let just let it all hang out, let it all hang out, and now it's in Taurus, and it's going to join on Inauguration Day on the 20th. It's going to join Taurus 6 degrees, so you're going to have Mars. Takes 2 years to go around the wheel, and it's been 87 wheels since Uranus has been in Taurus, and these two are going to hit be lined up. So I predict too. We'll see what the cards say. Yeah, it's going to be the end of something. I did the numerology. It's here. We're going to get to that. I have it all. I have everything sort of mapped out. Yeah, these shows just don't happen. I work on them for like 2 years. Oh God, let's get out of here. Oh no, what happened here? How did this happen? Okay, something just appeared. As I said, I shouldn't touch anything while I'm doing a show here. So Uranus, so that's what happened. Uranus is electrical, and its influence affects our nervous system, with our brain in the driver's seat. That's why a couple of years ago, when Uranus started its 8-year transit through Taurus, Pam Gregory and a lot of the good astrologers said, get as close to nature as you can. Well, I couldn't get much close to nature with Gabriella. Yeah, it's once again, it's so important, like Bernie Sanders said, and now I'm sure he's going to have a mouthpiece. Uh, the us bleeding heart left wingers, left wingers, liberals, bleeding heart liberals, proud of it. Smile when you say that. Right, Gabby? Them is fighting words. Of course, we're proud to be liberals. Instead of removing the conditions that make people depressed, modern society gives them antidepressant drugs. In effect, antidepressants are a means of modifying an individual's internal state in such a way as to enable social conditions that they would otherwise find intolerable. So once again, people start, we get the new order in, mind, body, spirit. We'll talk about, like I've been saying, modern day curses. We don't have voodoo doctors sticking pins in you. We have commercials now. We have direct to consumer pharmaceutical ads. I mean, just listen to them. I mean, just as a science thing, and then totally delete it, and I rebuke you and spit at your TV set. Have a spittoon right near the TV set. Yeah, it's criminal. One of these, I think right now you're going to get them. I'm not the only one talking about this. The mind, body, spirit. See, medicine for the last couple of 100 years has left the mind out of it. It's all no mind at all. The mind is just an afterthought. They took a left turn, a wrong turn, and they just kept on going. And then science with the Big Bang Theory, of course, that never happened. It was, but they said, "Give us one good miracle," and even when their science, which shows anything against it, they dismiss it. That's we've been made, and when you assume, you make an ass out of you and me. So these are just a few of the misconceptions that we have influenced our society greatly. We spend all this energy on the effect, and the cause has been running rapid. There's industries now. We're eating food like substances. There's literally industries in America that no, that was better. That survive make food additives on food additives. All this Mars energy now, all this Taurus energy. It's the United States of America's birth chart, the 4th of July, is happening. Where's all this Taurus energy? Oh, our 5th house. Our creative house. See, the United States of America, if you add July 4th, 1776 up, it's a five life path. This is the color for 5, light blue. That's why I wore this, to remind us that. It was June 27th. Mars entered Aries, and then it just left January 6th. That was 6 months of Mars. Her consciousness ruled. It was definitely immaturity. Aries is known for youth. The youths. Remember that of my cousin Vinny? The youths. And he was saying youths, but it came out from New York, youths. George Orwell said, "In a time of deceit, telling the truth is a revolutionary act." Well, let's hope now we got Joe, good old Bible thumping Joe. Not that he's a Bible thumper, but he's Irish Catholic. Okay, the worst loneliness is not to be comfortable with yourself. Stay away from people who make you feel like you're hard to love. That's a good one. You're not hard to love. You just have standards. When you stop learning, you're finished. So let's see. There was something I got here. I wrote down all the numbers for the numerology. Okay, so we did that. Excuse me. Here's something. Well, this is important now because emotions are running really high. Well, you don't need me. You don't need a weather vane to see which way the wind's blowing. Emotion is the chief source of all becoming conscious. There can be no transforming of darkness into light, of apathy into movement without emotion. So let's move this emotion up a few chakras to the crown chakra. See, we're going from third consciousness, dog eat dog, and to the 5th consciousness up there, where it's all love. Love is the final frontier. The universe is the ultimate love. There is no, it's all, there's no hell below us, above us only sky. Let me see what else I got here. Oh yeah, this is important. Knowing how to be generous. The sage accumulates nothing, but the more he does for others, the greater his existence. The more he gives to others, the greater his abundance. See, there's this whole, when people settle down, they realize this thing between capitalism and socialism. It's all right for corporate socialism and all that, but God forbid they help the needy. Take from the greedy, not take from the needy, give to the greedy. There's Gabby. Yeah, she said, I'm just going away. Yeah, Gabby. And now this is all changing. This is all changing. Where people are waking up now. The opposite of courage in our society isn't cowardice; it's conformity. We've got to, this is. I was thinking the other day. Donald Trump 4 years ago was talking about he was saying in his rallies. I saw it on TV. The revolution has been televised. They said in the '60s it wouldn't be. Well, it is. They were saying I could walk down Fifth Avenue and shoot somebody, and they still love me. Yeah, but he crossed the line. That was one toe over the line, sweet Jesus. One toe over the line. And I'm just gonna. I gotta calm down now. I couldn't finish this show. I want to get this 50 minutes, 52 minutes done. So people who watch me in San Francisco haven't seen me since last year. So by the way, Happy New Year. Oh, here's the girl. Hey, Gabby, say thank you. There she is. See, Gabby, you're beautiful. Yeah, I'm feather whipped. This is my sweetheart. We've been together. I rescued her when she was 2 years old. They gave her to me, and they said we don't know if she's 2 or 3. But anyway, science is medicine. Medicine is a science. Healing is an art. Science is from the mind. Art is from the heart. If you're working with people who do alternative healings or psychics, don't try to treat them the way a normal person, because they're not. And you are not either. Once you start opening up and becoming sensitive, yeah, it's weird at first. For years, what was it, 30 something years ago? Thank God I have friends who were psychic years from that time too. We were all in the mystery school together, and even before the mystery school, I would when I was studying astrology, after my out of body experience in '82, I've always I knew I needed to know about astrology, and I would tell people, we meet for coffee up in the Hague before and after the classes or something. And I'd always say, oh, when this and this happened, this and this is going to happen. And then, like, years after the classes were over, I'd get calls from these people because we sort of networked and people I haven't heard from in a year or so. Remember me? My name is Lola. I met you at Sacred Grounds, and we took that class together. And I said, well, you said this and this was going to happen, and this, and all these things. Yeah, so, and I would say to my friends in Amsterdam, psychic, oh, it's a coincidence. No, they would keep. It's no coincidence. After 5 years of, I had to accept that. No, I didn't want to be psychic. I wanted to. I don't know. I don't know what I wanted, but so anyway, I'm happy the way it turned out. They say you want to make God laugh, tell her your plans. You will never exhaust the love in the universe if you were to absorb it from now until the end of time. That's the truth. Excuse me. God. Namaste. Love is all that exists. Love is the universal communicator. It is the energy that has created the universe and keeps it going. God is love. All matter is formed by love. There is an organic love that speaks to everyone if they could but hear it. A leaf holds together for love. So we haven't earned our galactic space, our right, until we clean up this planet, until we do all we can to make sure all of life. That's the thing, like Mother Teresa said, we draw our famous circle too small. Einstein said that. The Navajo said you can't wake up a person who is pretending to be asleep. Uh, we do not heal the past by dwelling there. We heal the past by living fully in the present. Open your heart and be ready to accept. Keep your margins permeable, no thick margins. Like I have the Groucho Marx school of, look who's back. Yeah, she's such a ham you could stick clothes in her. She knows she's on TV now. She's a ham. Uh, yeah, Chris Rock was on TV the other day. He's 50 now and he's single again after being in a marriage and being a father. I guess a lot of kids, and he's been under goes to therapy. They Oprah, what's her name? Gail King asked him the other day in an interview, because he's talking about all these things and what he was describing, he never used the word, was character defects. He's working on his character defects, but he has to do it with an LA therapist, 8 hours a session, and he says he goes 8 hours a week. If he admitted to that, he does a lot more. But as I said, it's good he's working at it. But it used to be where when you recovered, you went through a 12-step program, and it was all about have a mystical experience. If you work these steps, you'll have a truly mystical experience, and your life will change. That's what Carl Jung said. They sent all these people to Carl Jung and Bill Wilson. Bill Wilson and Dr. Bob, the founders of AA, sent Dr. Bob to Geneva to talk to Carl Jung. And he said, I hear you had great success curing alcoholics and heroin addicts. And he said, you heard wrong. I tell them to get lost. I can't do anything for them. They need a mystical experience. Well, it's a long story short, but anyway, he came back, they sat down, and they wrote out these 12 steps, which are a cleansing. I, myself, had this mystical experience. I left my body in 82. I still am digesting it, but I'm not right, I'm just, I know what I just read you is true. I didn't want to come back. I mean, I've never been surrounded by so much love in my life, and I wanted to stay. And they literally convinced me that I needed to come. It would be best for me for my spiritual development to come back. And I remember it's so ballsy. This was like in '82, and I'm 72 now, so it was a while back. I said. It was all telepathic communication. See, people don't realize that when they pass over. A lot of them are there for a while, and before they realize, wow, I've been here for a while now, and I've never spoken a word. And they realize, wow, I've had this ability all my life. The more you start developing it, start acknowledging it, it grows. The more you ignore it or hurt yourself from it. A lot of people resist their psychic, their energy, and of course they get migraine headaches. Instead of going to the effect, get to the cause, and then the effect changes. If you keep your mind humble, pride will vanish like morning's mist. Isn't that beautiful, Gabby? We are very much like birds that have lived too long in a cage to which we return even when we get a chance to fly away. Gabby, you don't want to fly away, do you? No. The most striking quality that humans and animals have in common is the capacity to experience suffering. I see it all the time. If you keep your mind, yeah, okay, I said that. Okay, like Dr. Martin Luther King said, love is the greatest force in the universe. It is the heartbeat of the moral cosmos. He who loves is a participant in being of God, the being of God. Tibetan poet said, one with compassion is kind, even when angry. One without compassion will kill, even as he smiles. Smile in your face all the time, trying to take your place. Backstabbers. Power always thinks it has a great soul and vast views beyond the comprehension of the weak, and that is it's going to do God's service when it is violating all his laws. John Quincy Adams said that. Power always thinks it has a great soul and vast views beyond the comprehension of the weak. I'm a genius. Remember Donald Trump? I'm a stable genius. I think that was his word. Right off the bat, you know he was an unstable madman. Man as a hatter, and that is what is it? Retrobate. That's what he is. Retrobate, and that is doing God's service. Yeah, that they're doing this for you. This is all for you. That's the three trick Monty thing. You know, keep your eye on this. And meanwhile, there's like, hey, I got a Rolex for you, brother. Sister, there's this thing on TV that really gets me on commercials, and it's by this like really big Nordic looking guy, definitely not a brother, not a man of color, and I'm doing something, and Gabby likes to watch TV, keeps her quiet. And all of a sudden, I hear somebody say, "Brother, I want to buy your house right now. Sell your house to brothers will buy your house." And I expect to look up and see a brother, a man of color. And I'm thinking, oh, good, an industry now. Some industries are going into the people of color. There's hardly any in real estate. It's all white people. And I look up, and it's a white guy. It's he and his brother. I mean, they got balls. I mean, it's like people have no shame now. Money, and there's no moral. See, Einstein said it's all about developing our moral character is why we're here. Yeah. And it takes what it takes. Yes, I know, darling. Let's put this away for now. And let's get to the cards. Okay, because I'll be back again in a couple of weeks. And by then, it will be, let me see. I'm putting a show. You guys are watching this Saturday night, the 9th. And by the 23rd, you'll have a new show for me. So I'll wait until the 21st, the day after Inauguration Day. And then I will definitely do another show. But as I said, like Chris Rock was telling Gayle King, about, all the breakthroughs he makes. Well, if he had a good sponsor in the OAA. But years ago when I was doing healings down on Mission Street, the place I was doing healings for, as I was leaving one night, we're having an AA meeting going on, and they were passing a joint around. And I thought, wow, AA's come a long way. And it was during the summer, I remember. Before Gabby. No, I don't think it was before Gabby. But anyway, I picked up the big book, the Bible, of AA, and I wanted to open the index and point out Carl Jung, William James, varieties of religious experience, etc., which were my saving grace. Because years ago, after my first year in rehab, I went through a $20,000 rehab. And part of the rehab aftercare program was, I had to do so many meetings, and there was this down at old St. Patrick's Cathedral here in San Francisco. My sponsors, I had some good old-fashioned sobriety, and they would. And I could let it all hang out there. So at 12:30 every afternoon, I remember I would go to this one meeting down there. It's the engineers. I know it wasn't the engineers club. Anyway, that's not important. Anyway, I poured my heart out. Like, I've done everything they told me to do. I don't hang around with losers, people acting out, and I don't do this. And I couldn't be more, because I'm a Scorpio. If I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it all the way. And then I said, after I had everybody's attention, I said, and I'm more miserable now than I ever was. I never thought I'd say that. And of course everybody. But anyway, the meeting was over, and then as I was leaving, this old guy who just happened to be named Frank, who'd been sober for 50 years before I met him. Beautiful guy, one foot in the grave, the other on a banana peel, but very alert, and and he came up to me and he said, "You didn't read that book," because I remember in my little talk I said, "I've read this book over and over again. People tell me everything you need to be happy and know about recovery is in this book." And I've read it over and over again. So he came up to me and said, "You didn't read that book, you know, like you say, cover to cover." And I said, "Yes, I did." He said, "You read the index?" And I said, "The index came," and I never went back. Carl Jung, William James. So anyway, getting back to this meeting around 20 something years ago, I was ready to tell people about, you know, open the index, and it's not there. They pulled it all out. You know, it's become a cult, like most things. Like you know, many corporations now are cults. You know. Yeah, I can't be part of a cult. You know, if you go to a healer, you know, or a psychic healer, you know, he's probably, that's why, as I said, when you're healing cancer, it's a family affair. You got to deal with nutrition. A lot of times when I deal with, when I was more actively working with people, and like Louise says, it never works when people try to give me to someone, you know. So anyway, three things: direct recognition. Like I say, how many psychiatrists does it take for a to change a light bulb? Only one, but the light bulb's really, 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 really gotta wanna change. Remember, being the worst loneliness is not being comfortable with yourself, right, Gabby? What are you up to? Right over there, you little monkey. Oh, monkey face. Death, like birth, is a secret of nature. Confine yourself to the present. Yeah, like I, you know, studied Tibetan Buddhism because it became very clear to me. Don't wait till you're on your deathbed and think, well, this will be a good time to settle my mind. The wild stallions of my brain, your mind is all over the place. You know, as early as possible, learn to calm those minds, those stallions. Learn to make your mind your friend. Uh, and and I studied, and all those methods of Tibetan Buddhism really appealed to me. And I spent many shows. I've been doing this 11 years about all sharing the tricks about how to. I'm not going to redo them now, but they're out there. Just Google them up. Tibetan Buddhism and settling the mind, and you can't go wrong with these Rinpoches. See, in the 80s, when I got sober in the early 80s, I had my out of body experience. That was a very important time for us to be in San Francisco or any big port, because the Tibetan the old monks who were like, you know, teenagers, when thousands of their older monks teachers were slaughtered in Tibet by the Chinese, were 100 or something. They were very old, and they didn't even speak English, but they went on tour. And I listened, and there was the Zen Center up the street here, and friends of mine dragged me there, and I realized, oh, this is a psychic religion. That's when I got really hooked on Tibetan Buddhism. It was you know, so I was very fortunate, you know, to have experienced these amazing souls. So let's get right to the cards now. I'm just looking at the clock. There's a moth flying around here. Hey, baby. I think it's this. I don't know how long they live, but I think it's the same one I saw in the kitchen 2 days ago. Yeah, I have a small place here. Okay, let's see. Okay, so yeah, from now, as I said, keep in mind, if you really are into astrology, just Google up Pam Gregory. I mean, her shows on YouTube are amazing. And then there's Kathy Rose. She has a newsletter that's absolutely free, and it really, yeah. Yeah, so it's going to happen on, what happened this morning was Venus entered Capricorn and Mercury entered Aquarius. So now we have, we're going up to the 12th. Today's only the 8th. So the 12th will be Tuesday. And that's when we have 23 degree. Remember, all this is happening in our 8th house. When I say "our," I'm talking about the United States of America. Okay, there was something I wanted to talk about. Okay, the first half of January 2021, faster moving as we move from Earth to air, frees things up. 5 is freedom. That's why I'm wearing blue, like that's Tiffany egg, robin's egg blue there, Tiffany box blue, the outside world has no authority over me and everything is possible. So just for yourself now, anybody's day and month reduced to one digit, even though 11, 22, 33, your master knows you don't want to reduce them to single digit. So we'll use the United States of America, the 4th of July, which is 11 or 2. Then we add 2021, which is 5. So it's a universal 5 year. So we add that 5 to the day and month of the United States of America, which is 2. And we get 7. So this is a wisdom year. That's why I said it's going to be an emotional year. Use it now. Victims don't heal. This is a wonderful thing. I'm not condoning that, but if we didn't have Donald Trump, we'd have to invent him. He outed 200 years of America's birth defect, racism. And now, with Pluto transiting our Mercury, the way we take in information now, the genie's not going back in the bottle. You can't unring the bell. You can't undo what happened yesterday, 2 days ago. I mean, Donald Trump totally did a big, oh my God! Even the worst people now, Donald who, yeah, he just totally, but thank God he did it, Yeah, and those total horrible people. I was thinking, I had a flashback, when I grew up. Most people who know me know I had a really bad childhood. I was adopted into a family who hated me because I wouldn't be a murderer. I remember it was like 11 or 12, and Charlie, my adopted father, they're all dead now. They lived fast, died young. He would, blackout drunk, and when he was in a blackout, I knew to stay away from him. But I was only like 11 or 12. But I knew I had my aunt who lived down in the orchard and my cousins. That was like I could run there and go 15, 20 minutes. And then there was I could hop to the train and take a 5-mile ride to Oyster Bay. And of course, my grandparents adored me. I lived there more than I lived with Charlie. Anyway, long story short, Charlie, I would plan it all out, and because I knew he would, if he got up, he couldn't really chase me because he was drunk, he'd fall down. And I was only like 12 years old, and I would sit there listening to him curse me out and tell me what a horrible individual I was. That's why I was given up for adoption, Oh, he was, and after he finally shut up, I would look at him. I did this a few times. My brothers and sisters would just get a kick out of it. I go, "Look, Charlie, look, I'm shaking." And then I do it until he registered, and then he'd chase it, and I'd go, phew, I had it all rehearsed, and then I'd show up a week later, and where you been? Because he was an alcoholic. He never, his brain was gone even back then. But I remember. So when I'm listening to Donald Trump, I go "Look, Donald, look, I'm shaking." Yeah, when you laugh in the devil's face, he vanishes. I learned that a long time ago. See, when you raise, unless your roots reach hell, your branches can't reach heaven. So I don't want anybody to say, "Oh, poor psychic Frank." No, I was blessed. He was the best theater. He was the best teacher. He was exactly that guy that had his feet on Nancy Pelosi's desk. That was Charlie. That was fun. There's a song by Daryl Hall and CeeLo Green. Ain't that some shit? It's one of the background to one of their songs. And every time I say that's going to be my new mantra. And now it has been. Every time I'm looking, I go, ain't that some shit? Ain't that some shit? Well, I've been waiting from 68 for this shit to happen. Excuse my language, kids, if there's kids watching. But, hey, you've probably heard that word before. You probably heard a lot less from this president's mouth. He's not even a president. He was a 3-card Monte guy who got lucky. Mars went into Aquarius. Keep an eye on Mars. And we're going to rally through this whole thing from now on. And I'll help you. I'll be doing that for you. Okay, I said I was going to do a few cards for you. We got a few minutes here. Yes, by May, our long shots will pay off. by May, and by then the only planet ready to go direct now is Neptune, and here we have, yes, we're winning now, five. There's the losers, going away, and he's smiling now. The wind's going our way now. Swords are mind. Yeah, so it's mind over mind's good intelligence now. As I said, I read Al Gore's book, Assault on Reason. I bought it at a garage sale, at the library garage sale, a few years ago, and I never read it. I said I'll keep it for a rainy day, and then it was a rainy day, even though it wasn't rainy, this. And I read it in 2 days, and I was astonished at how brilliant that was. Okay, so for you all, yes, we're all forced to be the hermit now. Remember, we've got the light in us. There's no better anywhere than where we are now. The Chinese used to have a saying, may you be born in interesting times. Well, doesn't get much more interesting than this. Yeah, whatever, all the stuff that's stirred up goes away as fast as it came. Everybody's been saying there's going to be an assassination on the day of inauguration day, the 20th of January, because of this Mars Uranus conjunction. But I think what happened the other day now has given everybody, that was as good as an assassination. They literally raped our mother, the citadel of our democracy, that our fathers all died, babies, pigeons, everybody. And then, so that was as good as an assassination. So I think we were spared that, but we'll see something, that's for sure. Something earth changing that will once again, instead of say, okay, now we're going to jump on the right path. See, okay, I see that, Victor, it's a shame the world can't be us. Give us lots of kisses. Say thank you, Gabby. Say goodbye. Say thank you, sweetheart. Yeah, say goodbye. Say thank you. Well, thanks for everything. As I said, keep the baby faith. Keep the faith, baby. We're waking up now. We passed in the rebirthing thing. We just made through this hairpin. So now it's just going with the flow. We survived. Give us all a real pat on the back. We survived. We rallied through 6 months of Mars in Aries. A lot of us didn't. I shouldn't say that. I know a lot of people personally who aren't on the planet in physical form anymore. I love you. Let's keep a good thought for each other. Thanks for the good vibes and the prayers. Namaste.